Hi peeps, and welcome back to the channel. Woohoo! We made it through a week. If you are new to this channel, my name is Julie. I am a primary school teacher and I hope to impart any knowledge, any tips, tricks that I have gained over my experience and impart them onto you in the hope that it will help. So if you like it here, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button and leave me some comments about some questions that you might have. So as the title suggests, this actually came from one of my followers, thank you very much, that asked me what are my top tips for probationers. I'm not going to stick to 10 because there is 10, but there's a couple of added bonuses that are at the end. So without further ado, here we go. Here are my top tips for probationers. So number one is to use your mentor and other teachers as well within the school. So your mentor is there to be supportive, to be your cheerleader, to be, caring, comforting. There should be no berating here. There should be no shaming in your mentor. And they are there to absolutely get you to succeed in your journey to becoming a teacher. So the time that you spend with your mentor should be asking questions about, what could I have done better? When I did this, this is what happened today. What do I do about this? How am I going to teach? Where can I find plans for? Whatever it is, they are there to help and guide you, walk you through, because we all know that actual placement time is so limited. There is, when you're doing the 4-year course, you're having more time and more sort of theoretical input, whereas in PGD it is short, sharp and really condensed. So it's the idea of trying to get as much out of those experienced individuals as you possibly can. Please do that. The second thing I would recommend, following on from that, is that obviously you get one full day and then you get a further 3 50-minute slots. For the 3 50-minute slots is your normal non-class contact time, and your full day is for your training, for your probationer day. So what I would recommend, and that some of it will be directed and then you'll have to do your training, off-site, things like that. But if I could suggest that using some of your time observing other teachers. I did not spend enough time observing other teachers. There are so many teachers with completely different ideas of doing lots of the same thing. And it's trying to figure out sort of who aligns with you more, and you think, oh, I really like their style on this in particular. So I would select a particular subject, whether it's literacy, numeracy, art, PE, RME. How are they teaching? And also you might want to look at the person who's actually covering your class and seeing, the differences. Are they working better with behaviour, or have they got really good assessment strategies? What do they do? But you'll think about exactly what you want to hone in on and just have a general gist, but make sure it's not just one person that you're observing. Make sure it's a number of people, and that will really help you in your journey. And sort of, there's a lot of reassurance in there as well. It'll go, oh, they struggle with that too, so that that helps you. Maybe you might see a car crash lesson and go, everybody does it. Because believe me, everybody does. But hopefully you'll see best practice and people just being warm and welcoming you to observe them. Do give them a heads up about it. Don't just walk into the classroom and go, I'm here to observe you. That's not polite. Some teachers will not mind that. I really couldn't care less who is in my classroom observing me. but other people do not like it, and they just need a little bit more preparation for them, you know, to help ease them into it. They get really nervous, and, you know, who knows why, because you know that they're going to be a great teacher. Number 3 is get the children to help, you know, get them organising things. You know, I've had the children organising the daughters, not only organising the daughters, but organising them into alphabetical order. I get really anal about things being in alphabetical order. It just, for me, it helps me get really, really organised. And if I've had a couple of children organising things into alphabetical order, be it jotters, be it paperwork, whatever it is, great. It just means that I can look through it and go, ah, right, it's there. You know, whether it's gluing and sticking or anything like that. You know, especially when you've got the little ones, sometimes you do have to spend some time like sticking some worksheets into their jotter. If you can get them to do that, all the better. But it's about training them up to help you be more organised. You know, putting things away, making sure that, you know, they've put all the pencils away, they've put all the lids on the pens, all those kind of things. Actually, just double checking. No, I haven't got it, but I do have monitors for lots of different things. I have rubber monitors. Is there still 6 rubbers in the cup? Is there, you know, are there 28 whiteboard pens with the lids on? Is there 7 glue sticks with the lids on? These kind of things help them really look after the environment, but also help you get organised, and you're not left doing it at the end of the day, because that's no fun and you shouldn't be doing that. Number 4 is getting really good at, what did I say? Really good at, oh yes, sorry. I can read mine right there. Really good at learning and using the AIFL techniques. Making sure that you've got peer assessment, self-assessment, traffic lighting, feeding forward, all those kind of things. So training your children to be really good at it means that they get better at it themselves. So peer assessment is really, really tricky, and often I use it on classes that, you know, if I've been marking their work and it's really difficult, perhaps they're just randomly writing down the answers for numeracy and they're not even numbering them, or the writing is, you know, despite you teaching how to write on the lines, it's all over the lines. If you do peer assessment, it's very, very, very quickly established that children can't read other people's work. Oh, I don't know which one I'm marking. I'm getting confused because I can't mark this person's work because it hasn't got a number on it. And that's when I go, okay, I love what you're telling me. Go and tell the person about it, because they've not been listening to me. You know, repeat offenders that they just keep going and going, and you go, you need to tell them. And it often, because it's coming from the peer, they're like, oh, I've realised what I'm doing. So that really is effective self-assessment, and it's about, so often I'll use the visualizer of kind of best practice, or no, we're not going to name and shame people. That's not what it's all about. It's about putting up on the visualizer and actually going, right, did we meet the success criteria? Did we miss one out? What did we do? How did we do it? So children are really good at spying other people's mistakes. You know, anybody ever written something incorrect on the board and go, oh no, it's Wednesday, not Tuesday. And I'm like, oh right, okay, I'll just change it. Thanks for pointing that out. And they will absolutely be criticising you, but as soon as it comes to their work, they're like, I don't see anything. So it's getting self-assessment really, really good at making sure that they understand what they're doing. So start off small, you know. let's say, did you do any capital letters? Did you do all the capital letters that you should? Full stops. And yes, even in primary 7, you will definitely get this. The other thing is about feeding forward. So the feeding forward feedback. So if I have marked the jotters, I will ask the children to go back to the previous page and have a look, especially if I've done, you know, something like 2 stars or a wish, or, you know, I try to make it really constructive comments on it with some positive feedback as well. But constructive in the fact that, okay, your success criteria was, let's go with capital letters and full stops again. How many did you do? You know, what can you say? All right, so what is your target for next time? So when I'm talking to the kids and they're creating their success criteria, I'll say to them, okay, we've got our success criteria here, here, here. Now I want you to also put an individual success criteria that is based on your individual feedback. You know, and I'll call some people like, what's your feedback? What would you like to have as your extra success criteria? Oh, I'm really going to work on, you know, the IE rule when I'm spelling. I know this because I'm terrible at IE spelling rules, but that's what I'm going to work on. Oh, I'm going to work on making sure that I'm writing on the line, those kind of things. So that is worth its weight in gold if you actually train them in that, and they're being critical about their own work and making sure that they are producing the best they can do. The other thing, number 5, is to mark 1/3 of your books at any one time. Okay, so you shouldn't be marking all of your books all of the time. Okay, mark 1/3 of your books and have, you know, some of the books traffic lighted or self-assessed or peer assessed, whatever it is, you know, so you can have groups that will have their feedback from you, but only do it as 1/3 because it is impossible to keep up with doing the whole lot. So just cut it down. Number 6, routines. Those of you that have been watching my videos for a while know how much I am all about the routines, boundaries, making sure children feel safe, connected, and it leads to a very settled class. So whatever your routines are, make sure you stick to them. And I would say stick to them to the nth degree, okay? Because if you accept slightly lower, that is a new high degree. So for example, if you, like I ask my kids in the cloakroom if they're, they hang up their jackets, hang up their bags, and they just sit beside their cloakroom peg, and they sit on the benches, so they're all just sitting, and I ask them, you know, to just show me that they're ready to go in. So that means they don't have to look at me or anything like that, but just settled. I know that they're starting to get focused. They're starting to calm down after break time, lunchtime, coming in the morning, whatever it is. So they're starting to settle down. And as soon as I feel that they're ready, then they can go on. Now, if it's someone that I've got one person that perhaps is, you know, standing about, like bouncing about, but it's just one person, or I've got somebody just like peeking through the cloakroom or at the coats or bags, and I'm going to accept that, then soon enough I'm going to have everybody doing that and just creating a rabble. What I'm looking for is just peace and calmness before we move on to the next transition. And that's what I'll do in transitions, is always create that sort of peacefulness and calmness so that they know, 1, they're probably going to get some important information, but 2, we're moving on to their next subject, their next phase, their break, their lunch, whatever it is. But whatever it is that you do, lining up, end of the day routines, beginning of the day routines, just make sure that you have them established at the very, very start, okay? And it's not about, you know, holding a military school or anything like that here. It's about making sure that everybody's safe, everybody's secure, and you know that they're starting off at a calm and peaceful pace and then ready to go in. Number 7. Oh, one of my favourite things. And I was actually told this by, she was both a support for learning and a parent of mine. And she came up with, well, I don't know if she came up with it, but she told me about it and I just thought it was brilliant. And it's called Secret Rubbish. So if you are a teacher, if you know anything about, you know, classrooms and getting, you know, mucky and things like that, and cleaners and keeping the cleaners on side, then this is the game for you. So what I say is go, I have found a piece of secret rubbish. I probably told you about this before, but I found a piece of secret rubbish. The rules of secret rubbish are, nobody shows me secret rubbish. Nobody tells me, oh, have I found the secret rubbish? And whenever whenever the person has found the secret rubbish, I will let you all know and you will stop and I give them a sticker. And they love it because it's a smelly sticker, but they would love any sticker. So they love the secret rubbish game and they have to do it as quickly as possible. So what I tend to do is put on a timer and say, what are the rules of secret rubbish? Oh, and they tell me and put all the rubbish into the bin, all that kind of stuff. And I said, oh, secret rubbish might be teeny tiny toty. It might be on the floor. It might be on a table. It might be some leftover utensil used somewhere. And I says, well, nobody knows where the secret rubbish is apart from me. And I don't tell you what the secret rubbish is because I might use it again the next time and I don't want anybody to find out. They absolutely accept this. So go ahead and do it. Put on your timer for 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Everybody's picking up the tiny, tiny little bits. And, you know, things like sharpenings. Oh my goodness. Sharpenings that are over the bin, but not quite over, close to the bin, but all the way around it. These are the bane of my life. They're also the bane of your cleaner's life as well, because the Hoover just won't suck it up properly. Just a little tip for you. So definitely secret rubbish is brilliant. And then you go, once it's all clean, magically you go, somebody has found the secret rubbish. And that somebody is the person that's worked the hardest, that you can see worked the hardest at trying to find the secret rubbish. And often it's the kids that struggle a little bit to sit still or whatever. They're the ones that they try the hardest. So it gives you a great inning to give another positive praise. You're like, yes, you did it. You know, this was something that you did really, really well. They love it. Okay, number 8 is Chinese bells, tambourine, claps, high-fiving, singing, chants, lollipop sticks, whatever it is. Use different ones in class observation. So if you're doing a class observation, you are not going to keep going every time to get them to stop. Okay? Sometimes I'm doing like this. Sometimes I'm going, or sometimes I'm going, if I do this. I use the Chinese bells, they're great. Tambourine. I personally am not a great fan of the tambourine just because it's a bit of a sensory issue, but yeah. But you singing. Oh, I sing. Often when I'm singing, they all laugh at me at the end of it. But sometimes I have to get really loud in my singing voice. So yeah, they don't enjoy it, but they stop talking. So using them in the class, but also in observations, your person who's observing you will really like it. They'll enjoy it and they'll probably notice it, hopefully notice it. 9, speaking of observations, embrace the observations. Look for constructive feedback as much as you possibly can. They are going to happen. There's no point in getting really, really nervous about it. It's about trying to get best practice in. And if it suddenly goes all awry, yeah, you probably know that it's going to be going awry, but you just, sometimes you need a little pause, little break, which I'll talk about in a minute, and that will set things back on track. But observations are there to give you constructive feedback to make you a better teacher. Okay, that's always what the purpose of an observation should be. Oh yes. Oh, it's actually my bonus. That's right. So number 10, make full use of any PSA that you have. If you have assistants in your classroom, you are so lucky. They are so treasured. But make full use of them. So what I do is, get to know the PSA, especially if they are one-to-one or they work with a very small group. Then you are directing them as to what you want them to do. What you want the children to be able to do. So it might be the case where the PSA is listening in on the instructions and encouraging the child to listen in on the instructions as well, and then go away and do the task. Now, what I would also say is that you, as the teacher, should be trying to engage as much as possible those one-to-one learners with you teaching. So if I'm doing a small group task or carousels or anything like that, I will often have the child that's, has PSA, or the children that have PSA's interaction or additional support needs coming over. And remember, that looks in very, very many different ways, and one person's additional support need may not always be there. It might be something different, when you're talking about bereavement and difficult times at home, all those kind of things. And sometimes it's not always there, but it's for you to help and work with them. So I will tend to have, if people struggle to concentrate or to focus in on schoolwork, I will tend to take that group first, okay, work with them and ask for the PSA to help the other children in the class. So they are helping, they are making sure that they're on task as to whatever it is they should be doing. And I am working there. I'm working there not only to help them, but to build that relationship and to let them know that I am their teacher. I am not just a person that is in a room that's talking, at them or about them or whatever. I am a person that wants to have that relationship with you. So making sure that the PSA is going around and helping others, or if it's the case where, they are attached to that PSA initially, then what you want to do is harness that PSA pupil relationship, have them sitting in with you initially, but hopefully you'll be that person that they can come to. So they've got more than one person that they can feel comfortable with. And then if I work with those pupils and then set them off on another task, I'll then ask the PSA to step back in and help them stay focused on task. So absolutely use your PSA as much as possible. They are there to absolutely help you, and they can be a wonderful, wonderful tool, as long as you don't, misuse them. I don't think that's the right word that I was looking for, but just make sure that you utilize them well. Keep on saying them, praise them. Tell them how much of a good job they are doing, because like us teachers, we need that. We need that positive praise. So those are 10 top tips that I have for probationers. Another little bonus that I have is, and this is to do with the observation one, is if you are feeling that your lesson is going awry, or if you're just seeing the kids and they're just starting to just glaze over, or you're just feeling, this isn't, they are not engaged, like what is going on? Take a break. Take a break. I often put on a little dance that, that's a song that they liked, something that was contemporary, something that's recent, as long as you've checked it first. And I put it on, and we just used to dance for 2 or 3 minutes, and it just helped reset us, calm us down, and get the lesson back on track, or go, this isn't working. I've gone too high, I've gone too low, this is too chaotic. I have definitely done that. Then you can just reset and go, do you know what, scrap that, we're going to do something else. We're going to do something else, that isn't working, or we're coming back to it, but we're just getting a bit more focused. So I hope that helps. If there's anything else that you would like to know, if you find beneficial, this isn't just for probationers, for all teachers, anything that you would like me to share, I will do my very best. By subscribing and liking this video and commenting, that will means that I'll come up in your feed more often, and can hopefully impart my sometimes crazy, sometimes interesting, sometimes useful knowledge. Anyway, guys, I hope you've had a great day. I know I have had a great but exhausting day. Anyway, don't forget to be the best you can be. Bye.